how's it going? I'm Chase Jarvis. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Creative. This is the show where I answer your questions about the challenges you're facing right now on your journey to be an aspiring or professional, maybe even creative. We're gonna get right into the show. Finn, bring me the next question, or the next question? Sorry, we just recorded a separate episode. I don't want to pretend that I didn't just a second ago. How about the first question for this episode? Please, I'm gonna drink some water while you do that. Finn, can you see the Finn, can you see?
Hey, what's up, Chase? My name's Corey. I have a company called Styles, S-T-Y-L-E-Z.
Nice
and we
way
are kind
to
of a
advertise.
platform
Well
that's
done.
a mix between CreativeLive and Netflix for hair. So majority of hairdressers fail within 3 years, largely because of educational inadequacies in beauty school. So my question is, we have a bunch of content, but we're bringing in stars to create their own channels and videos in our platform. Now, often, platforms like ours would charge per video, so we can do a revenue share with that talent. Since ours is a monthly subscription like Netflix, it's hard for us to share the way Spotify does with artists. So my question is, how can people get well-known collaborators to work with them without doing a strict revenue share per video view?
All right.
So we go into everything.
Okay, I got it. Corey, first of all, good question. I like entrepreneurial questions. There's so much creativity in being an entrepreneur, in how to frame your business, how to think about it. You've decided to go subscription. Do you know why you did that? I don't want to just sort of ask you to debrief or break down your entire business, but I want you to think about, is that the best model for what you're trying to do? Because if you want to have rock stars on, bringing them on to, we've seen this at CreativeLive, bringing them on to a sort of platform where they can't bring their wholly owned audience and monetize them on your platform, it just, there's no incentive, or there's a massively reduced incentive for them to bring them to your platform. So you're asking me a question that I'm questioning the general premise of the approach. So first and foremost, sort of retool, think about it, and see if you're going about it the right way. Now, if you're sure you are and you want to proceed, I have two courses of action for you. One is, well, I don't know if this is two. I'm just going to start. So you need to understand the unit economics of the business that you're running. How many people do you have to have in the subscription pipeline, over what timeline to make what amount of money? And then when you see that you have that amount of money coming in, then you are able to better gauge how much you can straight up pay those people. Because remember, if you're an influencer, you're trying to get those people on your platform, you have to be able to pay them, because other people are paying them for their time. They can make money doing anything. So if you, and the hard part is to not overpay them such that you go out of business, and yet pay them enough so it's worth them coming on the platform. And the only way you do that, if you understand the unit economics of your business. How many subscribers, over what churn rate, over what length of time, over what's the LTV, the lifetime value of a customer that you get on your platform, and how can you understand that well enough to know that you can offer them this, maybe it's $25,000 for an hour or two videos or whatever, such that you can still sustain your business, happily pay them enough that incents them and is good for your business, so that it's all sort of copacetic. It's just a fundamental business school shit, but I actually do want you to think about if subscription is the right thing. Everyone just runs a subscription because Netflix does it. Well, they have massive scale. Massive scale. So that's my answer. I really like these entrepreneurial questions. These are things that I had to figure out, moving from sort of the more solopreneur, independent artist to running a business that had a bunch of other people and involved outside third parties. But cool, so bring it. Thank you, Corey. It was Corey, right? Corey? Are you guys alive? Hello, team? You guys good? Is it Corey? Corey. All right, Corey. Great. Next question, please. Finn. Finn's over there.
Hey, Chase. It's Kevin Matthews, @Matthews on Instagram. With everything that you can see on the internet now, all the art, all the creativity, how can you identify when you are being unique and doing work that uniquely you do? With everything out there, it's easy to say, oh, this picture I took is too much like this or too much like that. How can you tell when you are doing creative, unique work that is a reflection of your own personal taste? Because it's so easy to get it confused with someone else's creativity. Thanks, Chase.
Yep. All right. What was his name? Sorry. Kevin, good question. The question, in case you missed it, was about personal style. And so what I just did here, Kevin, is I pulled up this video. Oh, God. I pulled up this video. I just launched this, I think, maybe last week. It's called How Do You, where is it on the YouTubes here? How do you develop a personal style? And in this video, I talk, what is personal style? I think it's a good question, but I can't be more definitive in saying that personal style, if you have a goal of making a living, a life, or a hobby that earns you recognition on a repeated basis for the work that you do, then personal style is everything. All right. So what that video goes on to say, I really think you should watch that video, and it's just you use the Googles, find it, is that personal style is massively critically important. The way you do that is by putting more of yourself into the work. The example that I give there, I think is in that one, is if you take a picture of the Grand Canyon, there's been a million pictures of the Grand Canyon. What have you done, lived, seen, not seen? What's your history, your family heritage, something that you can make a picture that is different than most, or if not all, of the other stuff. And the only way you can do that is you have lived a life that few, or ideally no other people, and this, maybe this, the eternal return, this is a Nietzsche shit here, but did I just quote Nietzsche? I did, sorry. So find what about you that you can consistently put in your work, and that is a point of view that you have based on your personal experience that would uniquely identify that. Now, that is the what. The how to do that is very hard. And here's why it's hard, because you haven't made enough stuff. If you're asking me this question, that means I'm guessing you don't yet have a personal style and you haven't made enough stuff to know what your stuff looks like before you even make it. To me, this is it's an intriguing point of view. When I sit down to take a picture, I basically have my version of that picture in my head and I start shooting, trying to achieve that. That's called and when you can achieve that, the creative gap is 0. When you start out, where you're at, or I don't want to make too many assumptions, but the creative gap is large. This is a concept from Ira Glass. And the goal, as you get better at your craft, you reduce the creative gap until it's 0, and the picture that you can see in your mind, which is your signature, what you want to make, when you can make that, that is mastery. You can make that over and over and over. So you want to reduce the creative gap through mastering your skills, and then when you're at 0 and you can consistently make the picture that you see or feel before you even sat down, and of course, you're going to learn new shit as you're in the middle of the shoot or whatever. You're going to get inspired, but that's still, it comes from the thing. The answers are in here. This is what creatives don't understand. The answers are in here. The answers are not out there. That's imitation. That's how you master craft. You survey the landscape and try and get good at, this technique and that technique. And remember, if you steal everything from one person, if you rip off their technique, that's stealing. But if you borrow a few things from everybody, put that through the filter of you, that's called research and application of your own personal style. And the way you know your personal style is if not, make something 1,000 times, not the same thing, make 1,000 things. And when you get to the thing that you know what it feels like and you're just creating without thinking about it, or not thinking about it, but it's intuitive to you what you should do in this case, then you've developed your style. So the video is a little bit more detailed than that. To me, that's the most important thing that creatives can do, because that's the way you get hired. If you try and be everything to everybody, you're going to be nothing to nobody. And that's not a good way to make a living, for sure. All right, I think, is that the first one or the second one?
Second one.
That was the second question?
We're done.
And we're done. All right, that's the end of this episode of The Daily Creative. If you want your question answered on this show, and you should, I've grinded for years and years and years, and I have a lot of information in this brain and resources of friends and peers to help pass on to you. If you want to have your question answered on this show, call 802-962-4357. That actually is help. 802-962-4357, and leave me a voicemail. I would love to hear from you. I've got, about 80 or 100 right now in the queue. I've just been popping these things out. I'm super excited to answer your questions, so please do so. And if you're from a foreign country, you just have to put +1 in front of that number and subscribe to the channel. Do it, it would be fantastic.